All right, so the Miami Dolphins go out and they draft a running back. They get Jaylen Wright, the running back out of Tennessee, who I really like a lot as a player. I think he's kind of an underrated prospect. So for a lot of the running backs that go, earlier, kind of surprised he ended up falling all the way to pick 120. But I like this pick from Miami. I do. Again, I'm not typically a go out and spend a ton of resources on a running back type guy. Part of why I'm not is you can usually get Jaylen Wrights in round 4, right? I was a huge fan of the Devon A-Chain selection when they got him, and I think that with this, they can have a lot of real speed to this, running back room. And again, yes, they have A-Chan, but let's just be honest, he's someone who has gotten some injuries over the years and has struggled to stay on the field. So just adding a second guy can really help with that. Because then if A-Chan can only give you 8 games, well, then you can have him give you the other. And of course, usually multiple running backs get carries in a game. So yeah, I really like the fit. I think it's a great fit. And let's talk about just what he can bring to the table as a runner and some other stuff for the Miami Dolphins. Let's start off with this play. What's going to happen on this one is it's going to be a run to the offense's right. And this really kind of shows, I think, what gets you the most excited about with him, which is just that shiftiness and that explosiveness that he has. Watch how when this play begins, you see him moving towards the offense's right, but there's going to be a defender who's kind of getting down close to his area who could potentially make a tackle. But Wright is just so great in open space. That is probably my favorite thing about him. Watch him sidestep that defender, and then he's going to just, again, explode forward and even makes another guy miss. And even at the end, it took a little bit to finally get him down right there. Again, it's the explosiveness paired with the shiftiness that I really like about him and why I think he is such a good prospect. It does remind me, a decent amount of a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs, who ended up going in, very high in round 1 last year, kind of famously. But I do think that there is some similarities with him as a runner and how well he can, move through gaps and how well he is in open space. This one's another one where it's going to be a design rush towards the offense's left, but watch what happens. So this play begins, and he's going to decide that the way to, the best route to run here is going to be essentially right next to his tight end. The issue is that there is a contain guy for the defense right here. So you're in a bit of a peculiar position if that's what you decide to do. However, watch him again. He's so explosive. He just gets by him and still picks up the first down right there. It's these, little ways to get more yards than the average player would, kind of reading the play properly and being explosive enough to, instead of just getting a couple yards, getting like 13 on a play. It's very impressive. Now, again, how well will this work at the NFL level? That's totally a fair question to have, but I think it'll work somewhat well at the NFL level. I think he'll certainly have some positives there. And again, for this stuff to work at the NFL level, it first has to work at the college level. So definitely good that it's at least doing that. Kind of first test passed is what I would say about all of that stuff. I think it's very good. Also, something like this, where what's going to happen is, again, it's going to be kind of a run more up the middle here towards the offense's right. Watch how when this play begins, you see it's well blocked by Tennessee, but there are Georgia defenders who could get over and try and make a play right here. But again, this is just where that explosiveness is going to come into play. First, watch him accelerate, and he's able to get all the way to that next level. So this is already a very good play, but, for halfbacks, hey, sometimes what I look for is how much are you moving the needle? Sometimes there's these halfbacks that get hyped up and end up going, higher up in the draft. But I kind of feel like they never really hit because it's sort of like, well, they just do a lot of things well. But then once they get to the NFL level, it's not like they're really adding a ton of extra value that you can't just get from a guy you're signing off the street. If you're drafting a running back, in part what you want is some explosive ability, and that is what Jaylen Wright can bring to the table, and that's what you're seeing. But also watch him from here have the long speed to get all the way over, and he can get into the end zone for a touchdown. I mean, again, it's just the ability to turn a good play into an explosive play, and this time even more than just an explosive play, but a house call. That's very important and very good, very good to see. Something like this is important as well, I think, where it's going to be a blitz for Georgia. That's what they're doing on this play. And so for Wright, someone who's kind of shiftier and smaller, sometimes these backs can't pick up blitzes. And this is something I really harp on when it comes to my halfback evaluation, because quite frankly, it happens all the time that people are like, oh, check out this running back. They're so good. Look at all these moves. And then you look at their blocking and it's terrible. And you might say, well, okay, but you can live with that, right? Not really. Because if a running back can't block, well, then they can't be out there on third downs, and they can't be out there on passing downs, which can be a tell as to what you're actually going to be doing, whether you're going to be passing or rushing. And a lot of teams will say, hey, that's great that you're a good runner, but if you can't pick up a blitz, I don't really care. So for someone like Wright, can he be able to pick up these blitzes? Well, right off the bat, you're going to see that, yes, he does pick up the blitz. He knows where to get into position, which is very much a skill. Yes, it is kind of a learned trait sometimes as well, but there is very much a skill to knowing where you have to be and knowing how to get in position to make this work. But then there's the other aspect, right, where, as I brought up, he's not the biggest halfback. He's 5'11", 210, so he's not a baby out there, but he's certainly not the biggest halfback. So can he pull off the actual pass protection aspect of picking up this blitz? Again, yes, he actually does a great job right here. A lot of times, usually you just want the halfback to kind of get in the way of the defender, kind of deliver one blow, just give your quarterback an extra second to make the throw. Well, here, Wright gave a lot more than that, so the quarterback didn't need a lot more than that, but Wright gave it to him, so very good stuff. But again, going over here, we'll kind of end with this one as, well, let's be honest though, the reason that we like Right, and the reason why we think that he can be a really good player is because of his running ability. Yes, the other stuff is good, but if you're a fan of him, this is what. Watch how when this play begins, you're going to see that right here, he gets to a point where, there's defenders who are trying to chase him down for Georgia. But again, it's just that explosiveness. Watch him run by there. He's able to pick up a big gain. And it feels very easy to see him succeed at the NFL level. Sure, he's a bit on the small side. I guess that's kind of the critique. But other than that, I don't know. And, with some of these running backs that get super hyped up and people are like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. I'm kind of surprised Wright wasn't one of those guys because it feels like he checks every box when I watched his film. So I don't know. That's kind of what I think about all of this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate that. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button or just click on the channel itself. I will be covering every little detail about this draft. So, if there's anything you're interested in, I'm sure I have a video about it. Make sure you check that out. Also, if you like movies, make sure you check out my movie channel. The link is in the description for that. Have a lot of fun stuff on there, some movie reviews, some tier lists, stuff like that. And also, if you want to just hear more of my general thoughts, follow me on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it. Link is in the description for that as well. And once again, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it.